K Black in the building, man. Well, you see these clouds, you already know, man, that your brother K Black is grinding. But this is really not a boxing video, man. You know, this is just some everyday life type of shit. Eventually, all that hard work will pay off. Those profound words was spoken to me by a phenomenal individual that I know. She's very successful. She went from working 2 jobs, being a single parent, to basically starting up her own clothing brand. And now, she no longer worked those 2 jobs. She worked her clothing brand, and she just started off in her basement, and now she got some boutiques, man. You know what I mean? So, the sister's a hard worker. And, you know, when she told me this some time back, man. But when she told me this, you know, that eventually all that hard work would pay off, man, you know, it put a smile on my heart and basically, you know, even, you know, brought water to my eyes, man, because, you know, she understood the grind, because she understood at that time, especially at that time I was going through some shit, you know what I mean? And I had to work 2 jobs. Now I know I work 2 jobs now, but it's primarily because I just want to, just for extra money. But back then I had to do the shit. So when you want to do something, I can say, you know what, forget it. I can say forget one of the jobs. I can walk off. I'd be okay. But back then I couldn't do it, man. It was a hard time for the brother K Black. You know what I mean? So I just want to put that in your ear, man. You know that eventually hard work will pay off. You know, I got this story. I knew a brother. I worked with him. It was about 10 years ago, man. Yeah, your brother K Black. I'm young, but I ain't that damn young. You know what I mean? But about 10 years ago, I worked with this brother, man. I was at school at the time, and I was kind of like finishing up, you know, my last end of it, you know. And that particular job was kind of in that field, or kind of orientated to that particular field I was going into at that time. So I worked there, and I knew a brother, man. He worked long hours. He worked down there every day, and man, some of the coworkers talk bad about the man. You know, talking about, oh man, like he worked all these damn hours, and he come in, you know, ran over boots, and you know, talking about his shoes and shit. You know, talking about, oh, he got an odor to him, he smell, and he don't have a vehicle. He working all these hours. What the hell he doing with all, you know, with all that money he's giving? You know, he's working like crazy. The brother's working like 12 to 16 hours. He was doing it almost every day, man. Like I said, people was talking bad about him. And on top of that, you know, he was going to school. You know, he was going, because the particular place I was working at was at a college. So if you worked there, you can kind of go to college for free. You know what I mean? Before I started working, I was already tending her. I had another job. I was tending her, but I'm like, well, fuck it. Since I'm been in this line of work anyway, let me go ahead and get a job in this particular field. See if they would hire me, and they did. You know what I mean? That's a blessing. That was a blessing in disguise. So the brother was going to school, taking 1 or 2 classes, doing all those hours, and many people were just wondering why the fuck he was doing it. You know what I mean? Because he was quiet, he came, he spoke, and that was it. And me personally, a lot of the people, they did, you know, a lot of our coworkers didn't like him, man. You know what I mean? Just like I said, talk bad about him. The brother didn't have a car, he'd be on the bus, I went in the bus, and people know they're going his way, and they would just roll past the brother, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, of course I offer the brother to ride. You know, at times, man. You know, not every time, but sometimes I even went outside of my way to offer the brother a ride. Because I know how it is, man, to get talked about and have to get ragged on and shit like that. You know what I mean? And he even offered me gas money at times, but, you know, I didn't even take it, man. But eventually, what ended up happening, he told me, you know, because me personally, I'm a person. I've really never been a person's personal. You know, if I work with somebody, we can just keep it work. We don't have to be all personal and shit like that. You know what I mean? If you decide to tell me, I will listen, but I ain't gonna offer my input, and I'm not gonna let me. I'm gonna tell you anything about my personal life. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, man. If I'm telling you something personal about me, it's because, you know, we must be real cool family and shit like that, or friends that I consider real close family or whatever. But he told me, he's like, man, K Black, because I know people be talking bad about me, and they went around work all these hours, stuff like that. But the brother told me, he said, his father was never in the picture, and his mother ended up dying when he was young. You know what I mean? And when I mean young, he was like about 18. You know what I mean? And he had about 4 younger siblings under him, man. So what he did, he dropped out. He's like his last year of school anyway, high school. He ended up dropping out and ended up getting 2 jobs, man. You know what I mean? And he did that so he can get an apartment for him and his siblings, because he didn't want his younger siblings to go into foster care. He wanted to keep his family intact. Although their father was never there, and although their mother just passed, he wanted to keep his family intact. So he worked those 2 jobs, so he was able to potentially get the job that I met him at. So they offered a whole bunch of overtime. So although he had to work 2 jobs and we'll go to 2 different places, he got all his money at one spot. So the brother worked every day, man, and took care of his family, And I was like, man, I didn't even know why he was even telling me all that stuff, man. But I took it as point. He told me all this because he felt I was a good person. And I'm the only person that treated the man like a human being. Everybody else was talking bad about him, talking shit about him. And I'm the only one that was speaking to him and, at least have some type of conversation with the guy. You know what I mean? Because it really don't cost a dime, a cent to speak to somebody, man. You never know what a person going through. So that brother worked hard, man. He took those 1 or 2 classes, And I eventually moved on from the job, And I told him, I said, because he ended up eventually getting his GED. And he, like I say, of course, he was going to college and taking those 1 or 2 classes. So I kind of told him, I said, why, I was moving on. I said, I got in just to basically basically I was going in that field. So I said, okay, let me get here for a little minute, and then I eventually moved on to what I eventually was doing at that particular time. And I asked him, I said, you got some experience and stuff like that, you've been working here, and why, you might as well just move on. But he was telling me, he said the reason why he's not going to do so is because, he worked at the college, which means working there, you can go for free, which he did. And he said also, since I'm became the guardian of my brothers and sisters, as long as I stay here, they can go to school for free as well. So it was a method to his madness. He worked all those hours. He put himself through school, working those hours while going through school, and he stayed because he wanted his if nothing else, he said if they got into another college, so be it. We go the way he said, but if nothing else, if they can't get into college they want, at least here they can go here for free, and and things like that, man. While working here. So that's what he did, man. He stayed there, and I said all that to say this, man. That brother, and it was 10 years ago, man, but that brother now is the head of the department that we used to work for. He's the head, man. He's the head of the department that we used to work for, man. The brother got 2 degrees, 2 out of 4 siblings is in high school, and the other 2 actually attend college that he work at, man. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me God ain't good, and you can't tell me that eventually all that hard work is going to pay off, man. And I said all that to say this, man. I'm still in contact with the brother. I'm glad he's doing well. I'm glad his siblings doing well. And that brother was young, didn't have shit. Father was never there. Mother died when he was young. He worked 2 jobs. He got that particular job, worked his ass up, busted his ass up, went to school. He put it to use. Now he's the head of the department that he's working for. And some of the motherfuckers talk bad about him, still there. In the same fucking place, man. So, listen. No matter what you're going through, hey, when them clouds fucking break through, when that rain clear, that sun is going to come out, man. That's why I always look at these goddamn clouds, man. They look beautiful. The blue skies is, one of the best things that I can look at, man. This K-Black in the building. Like, comment, subscribe. I just want to share that with y'all, man. All that hard work eventually is going to pay off.